Welcome everyone to Scuff Podcast. I'm your host, Live to Win, and right here with me is my host, Dark Fox 47, and I don't know why the music is playing. Hold on one second. Alright, welcome Dark Fox to the stream.
Hi, glad to be back on this scuffy-ass podcast.
Alright, so I guess we're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Dark Fox, do you like chicken? Can you tell me about that?
Oh, we're just gonna go straight into that? Okay.
Just go right into it.
We're just gonna go straight into it. That new KFC dating game. I did, when was that? Wednesday. Wednesday I played that. And Liv was there for a bit.
Yep.
There's a lot more production value into it than you'd think.
Yeah, it did look really good. It was just, I was kind of like dipping in and out, but kind of want to hear your side to it.
But the art was good. There was a lot of animation in the sprites for the characters. Overall, like, a lot to this game than I thought, because it's at its core, it's like a for KFC, but there's just so much more to it than what you think. And the music is also pretty top tier. Its full name of the game is I Love You, Colonel Sanders, a finger-licking good dating game. I believe that's the full title of it. It's free on Steam for anyone who wants to try it out themselves, or you could watch my playthrough, available on my collection back on my channel, twitch.tv/StarCraft47. The clip, there's some of it right now on the screen right there, where we have good old Colonel Sanders there. I mean, there's not much variety. Obviously, the whole thing centers around either you succeed or you fail at romancing Colonel Sanders, no matter what you do. There's no other ones, but
Right.
something that's made to be that's essentially one giant ad for KFC, and a very effective one at that. The last thing you do in it is you make the mac and cheese chicken nugget.
Right.
That's it came out a month ago, and it felt like that was sort of like, hey, when did it come out? Came out a month before the game released. I'm like, God, I was intrigued.
Yeah, it was. I heard about it and I forget where, but I just thought that was like one of the most like crazy things, like a dating similar out of KFC. It's so weird.
Yeah, the characters, for the most part, characters are good. I mean, I think everyone could agree that that good old Pop is for an appropriate amount of time, which is very little. It was a little. Was pretty remarkably well written, or well, maybe not well written. It's just an experience you enjoy a lot more than you think you would.
Right.
Now, this is coming from me, whose experience in visual novels prior to this is coming from Doki Doki Literature Club and Long Live the Queen. I don't have that much experience with visual novels. Was just with how much was in it.
Right. I did see you play Doki Doki Literature Club, so it seems like I know how much you like that, but what would you say compared to that? Like, which one would you probably say is probably more, not necessarily better, but like which one would you say is more entertaining? You would think for someone new for graphic novels. Which one would you say?
I would honestly say that both have that sort of unique thing where um, it has the ability to grip someone's attention who hasn't actually played a visual novel before. This Doki Doki Literature Club goes in with spoilers because
Yeah.
that's a game you need to just play the game. Fantastic if you don't know what's going on beforehand, and it starts off so stereotypical and then just takes such a sharp, so original, and just there's a lot of build up payoff for it. Um, the Colonel Sanders one experience, I think actually both games, a 10-hour playthrough, it's like Doki Doki Literature Club's like 4 hours, and then
Right.
like Colonel Sanders game, it's like it said 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 hours, I can't remember, but it's like in that range of how fast you can get through the game. So same, but I'd say Doki Doki Literature Club has a lot more to it and a lot more replay value, mostly because it's an actual dedicated game. Ad
All right.
for but I'd also say that the Colonel Sanders one is just for the memes and be
It seemed like it
surprised
was so
by
memeable, especially like the dream sequences.
it's you go in for the memes and you come out being like that was a good experience. Well, you want me to compare the two?
You could.
Doki Doki Literature Club is one of my favorite games ever. It's so different. It takes and the unique sort of use of that genre. So awesome. Uh, that hands down, Doki Doki Literature Club is so much better.
Right.
But like KFC game is funny enough, the animation, yeah, there's a lot more into the animation, but I feel like that's also because really a diverse game, and most of the variation is on Colonel Sanders, the actual
Right.
of it. Music was fantastic. Both games have fantastic music.
And
That's about
well,
it's better.
yeah, and while Dark Fox was kind of messing around with the dating simulator, me on the other hand, I was kind of getting in with basically, I think like my new favorite addiction. It's Witcher 3. Uh, I it's such a good game so far from what I played, and oh my god, I just now realized I just stopped at one of the hardest fights in the game. This fight was a freaking bitch. So basically, I was just way under level for this particular part, but what ended up happening was just like it was just so like I think this may have been the second fight, so I may have won here. I think I don't see my rank sadly, but this fight was definitely like something, and like this I actually needed chat, and luckily I have fun in chat with me like right now, and him and I think one other guy was like kind of like helping me out like exactly how to do this fight, and it was so weird and uh, well I guess not weird, but definitely it was an experience, and I've been really enjoying the game. I did come across some bugs, sadly, but none that would be really, really terrible. I'm still in the early game, so story wise, I'm like still trying to like get through everything, and it's it. I could see myself just losing hours upon hours in this game, and but I mean, it's just I cleared out like I think I completed the basically the tutorial map. I'm now in the I'm now in the second map, and with the second map, it's a little bit different. And as a matter of fact, I am gonna show. I think I discovered this actually off stream, so I know this sounds a little weird, but I'm actually playing the game actually right now live, mainly because I want to show off this freaking glitch. Like, I, for me, this was rage inducing because basically this game is all about loot to some degree, to like level up your character and everything, but I just hated this particular part. So, right now, there's like this little island, and let me just pull this up real fast. So, like, this is where I'm at. I cleared out pretty much most of this. All of these were question marks when I last left off. But right here on this one island, I basically I'm at the edge of the map, and this for me was rage inducing. So if you walk forward, your character would say something, and there's loot boxes right over here that I could loot. It goes to this map, I pull back, and it spawns me back here. So I can't loot this shit. This for
Oh,
me was
that's
a pain in the ass. Why would you put loot outside the play zone? So, as a
oh that
guy who loves his loot vigorously, this is rage inducing. I'm sorry. But, I mean, I'm loving this game. I'm having a lot of fun playing it. I can't compare it to anything, but it's something I could really see myself just losing hours upon hours. Maybe I could try and see if I could get this freaking loot over. Nope. I see this little island over here, and I thought maybe I could grab that. But this, for me, is like rage inducing. Like, granted, there's a good chance that there's loot over there that's probably just like an empty bottle of some shit. But just the idea that you put loot outside the play zone, for me, is just. If you're making loot, I think I kind of want it, regardless. So, yeah, that was my one. I'm probably going to show that off a little more when I actually stream it again at some point. But so it's yeah, it's when you put loot outside a play zone, and you're a guy like me who, whenever I play a game that involves loot, like I'm kind of all over it. So it's like a whole thing, and yeah, I just been having a lot of fun going through it. I mean, besides that one glitch, I mean, yeah, it's rage inducing, but at the same time, I'm just having a lot of fun just playing it. It's awesome. Again, it's just like early games, so I'm still like learning all the mechanics. I know Fun has kind of been a bro to help me out, so I'm actually kind of glad I got a chance to stream it. And so yeah, everything's kind of awesome, but that one particular glitch is, uh, I don't know. Yeah, it's just a it's just a thing I came across, and when you restrict a man and his loot, it becomes a problem.
well, I'm not too sure that it's a glitch. It could just be unused assets, or just it could literally just be scenery that they've had. Like
It could.
or, you can do those glitches where you glitch to a store wall and then there's like a chest underneath the world, and it
Yeah.
basically mirrors the storekeeper's thing. It's not a hidden chest. They're not hidden chests at all. They're just
Right.
assets that basically they were just left in, and they were just like they didn't bother removing them because they didn't really do anything.
Yeah, it was
and then people
definitely
find them.
something that I thought about. What if I probably could find maybe a mod that can maybe have me go outside and maybe I could see that way. It was a thought. So yeah, it's it was a thing. But I guess I guess is there anything else that you could think of that you want to add to this from KFC or Witcher? Any last minute thoughts?
I don't know. I think I've pretty much said everything I want to say about the KFC game. Yeah, I probably did a better job talking about it during my playthrough. So go watch that if you're interested, or play the game yourself. It's available on Steam for free. It's cool game. You'll like it more than you think you will. Witcher, I don't know that much about, other than it's a really big game.
Oh, it is. It definitely is.
It's like Elder Scrolls kind of, except third person. Play Elder Scrolls third person, but
Right. And yeah, so I think the actual title of the KFC game is "I Love You, Colonel Sanders: A Finger Licking Good Dating Simulator." It I think released on I think it was Tuesday, I believe. I
it's
think it
Tuesday
released.
because I was going to play it. I was setting up for stream, and then I found out I'd already. I found out the game launched. I'm like, oh damn, I should play it on launch day. But then I already committed to playing Darkest Dungeon that day, and I was like, I'll play it tomorrow. Played a game relevant to when it came out. I guess the
And
closest I ever was
yeah, and I'm looking
Doki
at the
Doki Literature.
Steam
Played a
page right
couple months
now.
after.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the Steam page right now. It's just kind of awkward to see KFC as the publisher, but I mean, I think you kind of have to
It,
at
it
that point.
it's legitimate. It's for real. KFC published this.
And it was one big marketing campaign,
If you
and
ask
I just
me,
wanted chicken.
it's great. I also got the secret ending. There's one secret ending
Oh, nice.
little thing. It's just a tiny little thing, but I got that after the true sort of like, hey, perfect ending plus secret ending, because that was the because there's 5 different endings.
Mm-hmm.
There's just kind of 3 variations of not getting Colonel Sanders, or is getting him and then getting him and also the secret ending. I'm not entirely sure how that are, but there's more variety than you think, but not like ton of variety.
Right. I guess we'll go ahead and move on here. I know I'm like a big wrestling fan, but I'm actually kind of a little more interested in like what other hobbies besides gaming and streaming is your kind of type of thing, Dark?
Um, gaming and streaming. Um, say writing. Writing is probably my biggest hobby outside of streaming and playing video games and character building, world building. Like I've been working. Oh god, I started writing back in grade 11, so like 6 years ago at this point, 6 or 7 years ago. Slow, well, slowly. I've gone back and rewritten the first book twice, but you know, it just at a level, and I probably have to rewrite it again. It's there enough that I'd be like, hey, I want to to try and get a publisher for it. That'd be kind of awesome. If I published a book,
I would be
does well,
kind of something.
yeah, I can get the rest of the trilogy. I'm like, oh well, the first one it actually did well. It's like interested in more. It's like, well, I've got 2 more books if you're interested. Um, should I go more into talking about what I write?
Well, that was actually kind of one of the things that we were talking about off stream. Is like I wasn't sure how long you were gonna go because I kind of feel like you are reducing your nerd. Okay, I want you to release your nerd, please.
All of my nerd. Got it. Give us an episode completely dedicated to Star Wars. I'll unleash my nerd.
Oh man.
uh, I wasn't sure if you wanted me to run. If you just wanted to, you wanted to talk about your stuff first before I spend the next hour talking about my shit.
I mean the floor is yours, so like I don't
The
know if you
floor's
want
mine.
to stop it there or keep it going.
Jinko would know. I don't think anyone else here has Doctor Who. I've seen a little bit of Doctor Who. Jinko knows. I've tried several times to do like reading stream. I'm gonna read my book on stream, and I can't remember how far I ever made it. I think I made it to chapter 3. I know for sure we never made it to chapter 4 or made it to chapter 5.
Alright.
You'd be surprised we made it past chapter 2. That was sort of like reading on stream. That was way before I did my most recent rewrites. But it's a fantasy book set up in a completely that I well, it's not like a fictional doing of Earth. It's like my own fictional world, own fictional people. Um, Stay away from a lot of the sort of fantasy tropes. Actually, there's like not humans that are the dominant species, wolves, dwarves, or stuff like that.
Right.
I've taken some interest. I think they're interesting sort of directions with how these societies have sort of developed. And by the time of it's funny in like the prologue, it explains like, hey, this is a magical world, but in the time period where you dropped in where the stories being told magical anymore. It's been a couple hundred years since the magical purge when basically the air just decided to wipe out all magical users because there's a lot of backstory. I don't want to.
Right.
I've got an entire I've written out backstory for so much shit outside of the book. Well, there's magic. There there is dragons, but they're not like stereotypical dragons. They're I've only written the concept for them, but there are dragons on the main continent, so they have really zero interaction with the world that's being set up. Yeah, that where was I? Oh, Magical Purge. Because the Emperor of the Empire of Neverida, which Neverida's the planet's named, slash the continent, a huge unification war, and there's an empire ruling over everything. And one of the emperors felt like all the power belongs to the emperor. Yeah, the bloodline that controls the empire doesn't magic in the bloodline. They can't use magic at all, which is this in reality much more than emperor wields. So wrong that anyone other than her should have such power. So you basically have the magic purge where it wipes out being magical illegal, and they just wipe out everyone who is because shouldn't belong to anyone other than the ruler of the world. how I did that. Also, most magical creatures have been wiped out at this point.
Is
Uh,
that part of the reason why you kind of do graphic novels on stream? Is the reading part? Because you always kind of
ah,
because if you said that you wanted to do like a reading stream but you never got into it, you know, as a viewer you kind of really don't have anything to show, but with a graphic novel you got plenty to show.
uh,
Is that where that comes in or no?
it's
Or
just
half and half?
I don't know. I can't. I just fell out of doing the reading streams. I mean, yeah, there's not much to show, and I think it's a couple things that I can't pin it down the moment, but it's just I don't know. I'm not just dedicating so much time to read through
Mm,
a story on stream, especially one that's protected by partially. I don't want it out there.
right.
Not that I think any of my viewers would steal it, but I prefer to protect it before it's shared. And I think that's you'll want to protect my intellectual property, especially something I have time into
Yeah, it was just a
and
thought I
is
had.
I don't know. That was a interesting thought, but I don't know. Just doing visual novels is something like Doki Literature Club was like the first one I did, and that's because I saw some gameplay of it. And I'm like, oh, I've never done a visual novel before. This looks like an interesting game.
Right.
It was sort of why I did Doki Doki Literature Club. No, I've done Long Live the Queen, which was one I saw someone. And I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I bought it. It was like $5 sale. Did a couple streams in that. It was fun. I got to finish it at some point. Or I've done full playthroughs, but I want to get a lot more of the achievements in it. Much good when your first visual novel's a horror game. Yeah, you're right. It was a game. Um, but thing that I remember, like, it's funny how I think of when I started, like, of like how I got started on this world originates from like the two sort of like main characters, um, characters Revan and Shadow, who the concept of their characters has existed in other sort of head and up of it as like some sort of crazy mod to Skyrim because I was super into Skyrim mods like back in the day. Oh, these are really cool. And I thought of like a interesting storyline. And the only thing that really ever carried over in that is just the two main characters, sort of their story arc and relationship that I sort of hold over. So I essentially just built a world around these two characters, but it's that now. There's I have a vague idea of 10,000 years of history before the book starts and 2,000 years of history after the end of the trilogy. So
God
there's a
damn.
bit it's general, but it's there. Thing that's oh right, I started it because I jokingly said to the person sitting next to I can't remember matter friend back in high school or friend sat next to him a couple classes. I was just like, so it was in an English class. I'm like, oh, we just wrote a book. We just get like an A+ and like never have to do English class again. And after that, I started writing my book, and I'm like, you know what? That doesn't sound like a bad idea. So I just kind of started writing, and writing's just something I like to do. and just the creative, like having like a creative outlet like that. Like
Right.
if it's drawing, if it's videos, um, you get pretty creative, like writing pictures, that stuff. It's interesting to exercise your imagination.
Yeah, it's actually something that I think a friend of mine was actually kind of talking about more recently. I don't know why we just started talking about it, but we started talking about like how good the writing was like in movies and TV shows years ago, and for some reason we started talking about what was it? Have you ever seen the TV show? It's like from the 1950s, I think. Twilight Zone. Have you ever
Yes, yes. I've seen Twilight Zone. Yeah.
like I like the storytelling and like kind of like the way stuff was written back then was so interesting because I think my friend was telling me about like the very first episode, which was about a guy in complete and total isolation. He would show up to a diner.
Time enough at last. Is that the one?
I I don't know the name, but
Is it the guy with the guy at and then the world ends?
I forget
It's such a great one.
I forget
Because you,
exactly like how it starts. I just remember my friend was telling me that like the very first episode, I think, at least from what he said, was about a guy being in complete and total isolation. He would show up to a diner and there's like no one there, and then he just starts to slowly go insane because there's just no one to talk to, hang out with. He's completely by himself, and then slowly but surely you end up seeing like what was it like a warehouse, and there was like military soldiers, like generals, and they see this guy and they're like checking. They like tie him down, and
okay,
so
I
they're
don't
like
think I've seen this episode then.
so they like hold him down, and then they're like checking his pupils, and then they're basically like telling one another, "I don't think this guy's gonna make it. He's completely changed. He's not the same person he once was." And it's kind of funny because you could use that as a metaphor for like if the internet goes out, if the electricity goes out, because like think of like how many people like are just so attached to like their phones, their computers, their video games. With all of that gone, like you could almost use that as like almost like a metaphor a little bit. And I kind of thought,
Yeah, yeah, you can get sort of metaphors and stuff out of Twilight Zone.
and so I
What
just
would be
kind of thought
considered
that was
Black
like a
Mirror?
little
That's like
interesting.
sort of considered the Twilight Zone, like modern Twilight Zones, like Black Mirror with those
Right.
sort of things, stories with some sort of or like some big twists or
Hmm.
some stuff. I'm just trying to think. Like, I haven't seen a lot of Twilight Zone episodes. I could think of 4 I've actually seen. 5.
It's been a while since I've seen it, like any episodes, period. But I've seen a little bit, and it is kind of intriguing on some of them for sure.
I just, I just vividly remember that there was an episode of The Emperor's New School,
Right.
Twilight Zone episode. That was a great one.
But yeah, I don't even really remember how that conversation started, but it's just like hearing you talk about like writing and stuff. For some reason, that conversation just kind of just popped up in my head for some strange reason. But yeah, maybe it was because we were talking about like I want to say like we were talking about like the Hemingways of the world are kind of not as big as it once was. Like you don't really hear about those kind of type of really good
Are
storytellers
you
and
sure we had this conversation, or are you thinking of a conversation with someone else? I'm starting to question that now.
Oh man, yeah. I'm trying my best to like remember that, but I just remember having this conversation with somebody, and I just kind of thought that was a little awkward, or well, not awkward, but like something something I can't really I just vaguely remember it, and now I'm trying to like put the pieces back together. What were we talking about exactly? So anyway, but yeah, that's something I actually wasn't expecting for you to talk about is uh, reading and writing, but yeah, it's definitely interesting hobby to have, and I just because I'm a fan and I always would kind of plug it in is like when I think of like good storytelling, good writing is it is Yakuza 0 again, I know, but I if I could plug that any way I can, I will. And but if anyone ever actually plays it, you will know what I mean. So, it's a thing. I know, live in his freaking Yakuza, I know. But yeah,
Live on his Yakuza horse.
but yeah, with me when I'm not gaming, when I'm not streaming, a lot of the times I'm just watching, was just trying to get any information about like what's going on in the wrestling world. And I know this is probably going to be not very entertaining for a lot of people, but it's what's entertaining to me. And so like I just when I remember telling myself like, how do I want to do this? Because I could talk about like the wrestling world and the way it is today, but I started thinking maybe like there's like maybe another way to kind of go about this. But so I guess I'll just start from the beginning. Basically, in the '90s, wrestling was like really big, really popular, and uh, all of a sudden, I mean, yeah, there was like Hogan, there was Savage, but at one point, wrestling just, for me anyway, it was like, uh, it was Bret and Owen Hart, and sadly, I can't use any of that footage, so I got to work with what I have. So right now, we're actually just kind of watching a match between the Invisible Man versus the Invisible Stan, and Stan is the heel in this because his name rhymes with Satan. So,
What?
and yeah, his
What?
name, his the Invisible Stan, his name rhymes with Satan.
Stan
You
does
never
not
get
rhyme
those
with
names
Satan.
confused.
It does not rhyme with Satan.
Yes, it does.
No, it
I
does
heard
not.
many times you worship some guy named Stan, and they say no, that's a typo. I mean, yeah, it's easy to get
Yeah,
those two
just because it's like
confused.
a couple letters off doesn't mean it rhymes.
I don't know where you're getting that information, sir. I just know what I know.
Stan does not rhyme with Satan.
I'm just saying he's evil, okay?
Okay.
So, so anyway, so basically that's like where it just kind of like went into is Bret and Owen Hart was like kind of like my favorite wrestlers, and it just kind of started from there, and just kind of just took off. And then what was it? I just kind of was wanting something new, something different, and then I discovered ECW, which that's also now owned by WWE. So it's like, what else isn't owned by them? It's part of the reason why I think a lot of people's grown a disdain for WWE is because they kind of have like a real stranglehold on like North America, and basically there's like no wrestling promotion that could like get up to their standard. And these days, AEW seems to be like the company that seems to be the one that's actually kind of filling the void of what WCW left behind, and it's possibly viable because it put Vince scared, and now he's like making like big changes and stuff. So, but anyway, that's kind of like how it all started. And then because of John Cena and Randy Orton, I just kind of
John
I
Cena.
know, I know the memes.
You can't see
Dun,
me,
dun,
but
dun,
that
dun,
is yeah.
dun. Yeah, it's because of John Cena and Randy Orton. I just kind of didn't really like wrestling anymore, just simply because it's like who's in the main event? John Cena or Randy Orton? Who's the champion? John Cena or Randy Orton? And it's like, yeah, that's back in the day. There was like more than a bunch of people to like freaking uh, fall back on, and now it's like there was a time to where they had no one, and then so I kind of just stopped watching wrestling for a while, and then in 2015 I discovered New Japan Pro Wrestling, and that kind of just took a life of its own. And I started to know guys like Hiroshi Tanahashi and freaking uh, Shibata and Tetsuya Naito. All these guys I just started like falling in love with, and just I wanted to see more of like what they could do. And Japanese wrestling has kind of been like my new kind of favorite style of wrestling, and it's and even to this day it's still changing and still evolving. And basically that kind of because of the internet I ended up discovering a particular wrestler, and I just I thought it was awesome. And this actually is one of my favorite matches of all time. Now, for a second here, I am gonna. When I first saw this face paint, my first thought is if you're a fan of Batman, this looks like you're trying to do something like Joker, because Joker always has like purple and stuff. That was just something that kind of stuck out with this particular match. And what makes it even more interesting is this is actually my favorite match I've ever seen, period. Just because of how it's almost like a style of MMA and wrestling just kind of mix matched. And this is in Japan it's called Joshi wrestling. Essentially what it means is Japanese women's wrestling. And I discovered this, and I just been watching more of it. And what makes it even more interesting is the girl I just showed with the face paint. She actually works for WWE now, and she goes by the at the time of this video that you're watching now. Her name is Kana, but because of WWE and the way they always have people change their names, and she's now going by the name of Asuka. And what makes it a little interesting is I kind of follow her on Twitter, and I discovered something. She ended up putting up a bunch of stuff on the internet on Twitter, and I slowly discovered that she was kind of putting up a particular room that looked a little interesting, and I discovered she's putting up a freaking YouTube channel, and it's Kana-chan, and it's basically her just going around playing video games. So she's a gamer, and it's what makes it so surreal is not only is she like playing video games and stuff, but like I seen her in matches. She beat the shit out of people. And now here she is like playing like Super Mario Maker and all these other great games, and it's like she's a gamer like the rest of us. And it's just kind of awesome that this one wrestler is now like a content creator and a gamer. And what makes it even more and more interesting, I recently saw on Twitter She went to a concert. It was Iron Maiden. I'm a big fan of Iron Maiden. Run to the Hills is one of my favorite songs of all time. So it's kind of funny how this one particular wrestler.
Your fangirling showing.
Yeah, and it's like, for. Anyway, it's like checking off so many boxes, and it's just kind of funny. Like, she's in one of my favorite matches of all time. It's probably my first, if not second, favorite match of all time, and it's just kind of funny that now, she has like her own YouTube channel, and I would have plugged it last podcast, but I figured you probably want to talk about maybe streamers and not necessarily content creators. But when I saw that, I just there's different words and terminologies used, and I kind of use them from time to time, and basically I marked out. I like over the moon, just kind of thought that was like really interesting that she's a wrestler and a freaking content creator. So I just kind of thought that was really something. So
yeah, but let's not let that distract the fact that in 1998, The Undertaker threw Mankind off Hell and at 16 feet through an announcer's table.
yeah, that's that
Literally
particular
been spending
spot.
this whole talk looking for that meme. I was like, "Where's that copy pasta?" I don't remember. Time you've been talking, I've been looking for that copy pasta. That's the only thing I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to contribute anything.
Yeah, I kind of figured that a little bit, but yeah, that the one that Dark is talking about is a very iconic moment. It's yeah, that whole spot was not planned. The spot to where he goes over the top and through a table, that part was planned, but there was another.
Wrestling's fake, by the way.
Yes, wrestling is totally fake. The Undertaker wrestled that match with Mankind. He actually had a broken foot, and they still had him wrestle, and he even climbed up the cage. And I thought that was like a feat in of itself, because like, why the hell would you, with a broken foot, climb up there? And there was like a moment to where he gets chokeslammed through the cage. That was not planned, and I thought I heard from a shoot interview that particular spot was basically Undertaker actually thought he killed Mankind. So there's like a moment.
What a sentence that right there.
Yeah, there's a moment to where the camera zooms in on Undertaker as he's on top of the cage, and he has a moment of shock. He legitimately thought he killed him. And luckily he did survive, and I think through that process, I forget how it happens, but somehow Mankind had a tooth, I think it was one of his front teeth. It went through his gums and somehow set into his nose. So there's this iconic image to where Mankind is looking at the camera. He has a tooth up his nose. His mouth is bleeding, and he is concussed. They escort him out of the ring. They were going to end it there. Foley, the way he is, got back into the ring, continued the match. I think they even went back up. I think they even went back up to the cage. They fought back down, and they still had enough time for a thumbtack spot. That was definitely a freaking moment.
That end his career?
No, it didn't. He continued on for a couple years after that. Even Undertaker, like, that wasn't his last match either. He still does shows, but everyone at this point wants Undertaker to kind of just retire already. Like, he's done enough. So yeah, so like I know a lot of information about wrestling, and anytime I could talk about it and just watch stuff about it, I'm always constantly learning and finding about stuff. And yeah, the moment that Dark was talking about, that one's iconic for many reasons because of how unscripted it was. Well, I mean, it's still scripted, but or a work as it's called.
What? At least it's not scripted, just like this podcast. Once we say
Yeah,
the stuff,
I
it's no
know.
longer scripted.
But there was like so many moments to where they were gonna end the match one way, and then it continued, and basically there was a lot of moments that was kind of like very iffy with it, and it's iconic for many reasons because mostly that's never gonna happen ever again because no one is gonna want to put themselves through that kind of type of stress, and it's yeah, it's part of the reason why I just become a wrestling fan is because of all that kind of type of stuff. So
Yeah, that's a great question, Josh. Has anyone actually died?
yes.
I mean, with wrestling? I mean, I was gonna say, I'm like, all this, even though it's scripted and it's fake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, lots of people still die in stage plays.
Yeah, as
Like
a matter of
before.
fact, I recently talked about this with someone I know who's a wrestling fan. There's a Japanese wrestler who wrestled a match, and basically, there's a lot of reasons why people want the Japanese style to change because it's more violent than what it usually is in, say, North America.
Honey?
But there was a wrestler who basically what happened is he severed his spine, and
Jesus.
I think that's what happened. He severed his spine, so he essentially broke his back, and then it triggered a cardiac arrest, and he died. So, and
That's
pretty
good, yeah.
much he was pretty much like the Hulk Hogan in, I believe he worked for Pro Wrestling Noah. And what happened, and when that happened, a lot of people they were like, we need to like let it be known like the style of wrestling that we have is definitely something else, and there's a lot of people that could really get hurt, and essentially uh he actually could still have been alive after the moment, like as they said, because of his spine. It wasn't like a vicious bump or anything like that he took. It was just a regular slam, flat on his back, no problems, no issues. But for a
Humans are
normal
fragile.
person,
You just
but
need a specific amount of pressure on a specific point,
yeah,
and you're done.
and that's basically what happened. And a lot of people say he just took one too many slams on the back, one too many times, and his body was getting older. Uh, Very good training regimen to basically just do carton of cigarettes per day. So that probably didn't also help. So
Oh, yeah,
he
sure. Cigarettes could be attributed to anything to do with,
booze and
helping
cigarettes
him
was
not
like his
die
big
from a
thing.
spinal
So
injury, but he
all it,
lost his hand. It had something to do with their back being snapped in half.
yeah. So it's
So it doesn't help, but
no, it
at the
doesn't.
same time, um, I wouldn't say that really would have stopped it from happening.
It was definitely something that a lot of people because they see guys like Will Ospreay today, he's actually a very good wrestler. He's in New Japan, and he takes a lot of sick and disgusting bumps to where you would think that would kill a man, and he's not alone. And somehow he agrees to it, and people think, well, he's gonna die just like that other guy I just mentioned. I forget the guy's name, but I remember he was in Pro Wrestling Noah, and I remember hearing that story, and I was like, "Damn, that's I never thought that would be a thing." But yeah, that's anyway. Um, so I guess we'll probably just go ahead and move on here. But yeah, anytime I could talk about wrestling is like a big thing for me. So I guess you want to take a break now, or should we
I
move
mean, we're
on?
like 3 minutes off from the hour mark, so seems like good a time as any to do the.
All right. I guess I'll play your clips first. I think I have them here, so I'm just
Fair
gonna
warning.
start. I'm just.
I don't remember any of them. I don't remember any of them.
You'll be fine. You'll be fine. We'll all be fine.
I thought they were funny when I put them in, so hopefully they're still funny.
All right. Okay, so these are clips from Dark Fox. I have no idea which these are all about. So if anyone is watching this stream who's probably got the thing muted, go ahead and turn on the audio now. I'm gonna do the same, actually.
Oh my god, yes, Josh, I have that clip in there. I added that just before I sent it to Liv.
Alright, so I'm just gonna start from top to bottom. Here we go, and here's a first clip.
It'd help if I unmuted.
Fuck! No, shit! Oh, fuck!
That's Milton's character.
Yeah, I kind of noticed the voice when he said, "Oh fuck." That one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. Yeah, I like Milton. He's a good streamer. All right. Number 2.
Okay, that's really weird. Yeah, take her down.
All right. Looks like it's another RP.
Okay, that's really weird. Yeah, take her
Oh,
down.
yeah, there'll probably be a couple of yeah.
Oh my god! Esperanza!
Who just ejected from the cruiser?
Okay, that's really weird.
Real
Yeah,
quick,
take her down.
I'm just gonna say, this is actually one of the reasons why I love
Oh
watching
my
like
god!
RP streams. The craziness that could happen sometimes.
It's just the random ass craziness.
Yes.
I'm watching this delayed. I'm listening to your reactions live time, but I'm not seeing it. I'm seeing it on a delay with everyone else. It's great.
Oh man, good stuff.
Most of it's actually I can't remember my RP stuff.
All right. Oh man. I honestly kind of thought there would be like more of a conversation like in between this stuff going on here, but I guess we'll just keep it going.
Where? Where? Free! Free! Where? Okay. Where are you? You tell me now! Where? Where? Free! Free! Where?
Okay, that is actually really funny. Mainly because I'm listening to the other voice in the car besides Milton. And to me,
that's the whole point. That's Nikita's character Tessa.
Yeah.
She's like super sweet and got that super sweet voice and her freaking reply read to like
oh my god, that's what this is. Have you? What is that? Was that movie called? Is it Full Metal Jacket? I think. Show me your war face. Ah! That's what I'm thinking of right here.
You tell me now! Where? Where? Free! Free! Where? Okay.
And also with the other person in the car, I'm actually thinking of Nabi, that streamer I mentioned from the first. She has that very similar kind of type of voice, very innocent, adorable voice. All right, that one was really good. I like that one. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of in the same boat with some of the stuff as Dark Fox. For me, it's kind of mostly for our next segment that's going to be coming up. But there was some jokes I kind of did for the next segment to where I kind of thought it seemed funny at the time, but then after I kind of did it multiple times, I kind of been we'll you know what, we'll talk about when we cross that bridge.
Yeah.
We given one to the child. Oh god! We given one to the child. Oh god!
Oh, she's playing BioShock Infinite.
Oh god!
I know this
Yeah,
scene. Yep. Yeah, that's where you give.
Smacks the child.
I know, right? Oh man. Yeah, I remember this scene. I think you come across like this kid underneath like this staircase, and he's just like kind of. I think you give him like an apple or something.
I made the thing in chat. I'm like, man, I hope his dad wasn't up at the bar. Killed everyone because you killed everyone in the bar, and I'm like, well, I hope his dad wasn't up.
Oh man. Yeah, it's kind of awesome when I remember a scene. All right.
Check it
Glad I
out.
added that
Stay
one.
police, let's see some fucking hands. Oh, dude, you see some hands. Stay put in the building.
See some hands.
Fuck, man, this is creepy, dude. Stay police, let's see some fucking hands.
What
Check it
the
out.
fuck?
Stay police, let's see some fucking hands. Oh, should we
That's
see
someone
some
having a
hands?
lot
Stay
of
put
fun
in the
with
building.
the decorator.
Fuck, man, this is creepy, dude. Stay police, let's see some
Stay
fucking
police.
hands.
Let's see some hands.
Oh. What I'm
Check
what
it
I'm
out.
picturing right now is like so someone's playing like Resident Evil or something. they have like a cop mod or something like that, and they just come across this
It's
shit,
just so.
and they're just memeing on it.
So good because you
Stay
can't
police,
script
let's
this
see some
shit.
fucking hands.
You can't
Oh,
script
should we
this
see
shit.
some
Like
hands?
the
Stay
stuff
put.
that happens, like the timing on that's just
Fuck, man, this is
Yes!
do it better.
I
It should
love
be
the
fun.
guy's
Let's see some
voice.
fucking hands.
I love the guy's
That's
voice. I
Coyle,
love
the
the
guy who runs
reaction. Oh god.
Coyle, he runs no pixel.
Oh man, I could easily see
ahead.
someone doing a meme out of that. Let me see some fucking ass. Oh
or,
man.
or as Lauren Forster would say, LSD. Let's see some hams. She jokingly
some
said
hams?
but it was during police training. She breached one of it. It's like LSD. Hands, get your hands in the fucking air. It's like, fuck. Wait, can we do that again? I just said LSD. It's like, fuck.
Oh my god. That is glorious. I love it. Easily my favorite clip so far. I'm gonna say I do appreciate all these clips I'm seeing so far, but yeah, I think we have our favorite so far.
Yeah, when I saw that one, I was like, that's just everyone can laugh at that.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
that is good.
It's just too good. Oh man. Yeah, that one's easily my favorite so far. All right. I think we're coming near the end of
I think there's only two more.
yeah, I think there's only two more left. That was a good one. But I'm loving these clips so far.
Oh. 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 Ah. Oh. No. Oh. Mm-hmm. Huh? Huh?
I've done that before. I've done that
It's love
before.
it. It's just an entire conversation in her head.
Yeah.
It's just like,
I've actually I've never done. I don't think I've done it on stream, but I know I've done that before. I've done that. I can't really explain it. It's just, yeah, you just kind of like make these noises, and I think it falls in line to. I think I said this on stream one time. If you ever try to like make yourself laugh, that's kind of like where it would start and it would probably end. Something different, but yeah, that one I've actually done that before. All right, so this is a last one from Dark.
one's the KFC one. This is great.
KFC, let's go, boys.
A wind.
You ready to see?
Cherry
Oh, oh, jump in the gun. Jump in the gun. Okay, here we go. What do we have?
A wind rushes in. Cherry blossom petals fill in the air.
Nice. Nice.
I just couldn't. You just rode in on a fucking horse. I just couldn't.
Glorious. Glorious. I love it.
Flip. It's perfect in every way. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
I think I remember you saying that.
Oh my god, this game is perfect.
Yes. I think somewhere around here is when I jumped in.
This game is perfect in every way.
I was lurking the entire time, but I remember this. Oh god.
Oh, it's Colonel Sanders. He's arriving at school.
I'm not gonna lie.
Cherry blossom petals.
When I saw this moment, the way my brain works at times, I think of ideas, and they
Yep, we're good. Yep.
they don't really jump the gun quick enough. When I saw this moment, I wanted to type in chat, but I kind of felt like somebody might take offense. I don't know who, but I thought somebody might. When I saw this moment, I quickly thought, well, not quickly, but I eventually ended up thinking, I wanted to say, fuck you and the horse you rode in on. I wanted to say that, but at the same time, I kind of thought maybe it could be taken out of context. Is Dark gonna think like I'm talking about him, but like, you know, obviously I'm talking about the game, or maybe I think Josh was in chat with us as well, and yeah, or I guess I should say Josh was in chat with me. But yeah, I saw that moment one more time, because
Great moment.
oh god.
A wind rushes in. Cherry blossom petals fill in the air.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. Oh my god, this game is perfect. This game is perfect every way. I'm crying.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh. It's Colonel Sanders. He's arriving at school.
A wind rushes
Oh
in.
man, that was
Cherry
Oh,
good.
blossom
is that
petals
really
fill in
gonna
the
be
air.
the first fan art of my channel? It's gonna be freaking Colonel Sanders. Take it.
All right.
I'll take it. Whatever.
Well, Dark Fox, I think probably didn't quite get what I was going for here, but basically, I kind of had a moment. I need to set this up a little bit. Josh knows exactly the clip I'm going to be doing. Josh, should we start with the appetizer first, or should we go right to the main course? Because I'm thinking we need to start soft and strong. You know what I mean? You know, don't give out spoilers, but I think we should start out a little slow to set the tone. Yes. Okay. So we're in agreement. Appetizer first, and then we'll go on to the main course. Sadly, when this happened, I actually played both of these clips on stream. This is hilarious. I absolutely love this. Now, the clips that Dark showed were kind of quick. I have one clip that's approximately 10 minutes, and then another clip that's like about 9. So we got about 20 minutes here of content. So we're just gonna start off soft a little bit.
Those aren't clips, those are videos.
Well, that was kind of the bit. So, because this is something that you could play the entire game and not even notice it. Kind of type of thing. And that's what I was kind of like doing for this whole segment is like, well, we could like pull clips or video off of YouTube and we'll present them. So the reason why I'm doing this is because I thought these two clips or videos are freaking hilarious. And Dark, if you try to stop me, I'm going to mute you. Okay? So you have been warned. These clips are freaking hilarious. So without further ado, we're going to start with the first one. Now, I'm a big fan of Grand Theft Auto. I'm going to play to you the reason why I love GTA. So here we go. This is Gordon Moorhead Rides Again.
Moorhead rides again! Gordon Moorhead and the Exploding Breasts. This episode of Moorhead Rides Again is brought to you by the Vice City Broadcasting System in association with the Friendly Napalm Company of Florida. And now to Gordon Moorhead in Moorhead Rides Again! Gordon Moorhead and the Exploding Breasts. Last time, Moorhead was in Vice Beach, looking for a fisherman who had gone missing. The fisherman's daughter was explaining the circumstances of his disappearance. Then suddenly a shot rang out. The daughter was dead. Moorhead and Molly Malmsteen were immediately on the case. Moorhead was confident he knew who had just committed this dastardly act.
Gordon? No! She's dead. Are you okay, Gordon? How you bearing up? I mean, that woman was just killed while you were speaking to her. I feel faint and a little scared.
That's because you're a woman. Calm down.
Oh, you don't have to go and get cross, but I guess I deserved it. Gordon, you're incredible. I feel much better knowing you're here. Who shot her? Oh!
There. Now I'm better. Helps a man think. Molly, I understand that being a woman your interests are more in cookery than murder, so I'll make it simple. I bet you're thinking it was the same criminal gang who was holding the old fisherman.
Why, yes.
Yeah, that's why you'll never be a man. It wasn't.
It wasn't?
No.
So who shot this fisherman's daughter?
I did.
You? But, why?
The fact is, Molly, there are a lot of things you don't understand with that darn poisonous estrogen coursing willy-nilly through your veins. With her father missing, that girl was now an orphan, and a girl without parents is 5 times more likely to end up a prostitute, a fallen woman who ruins American marriages, or worse.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know. So I shot her and threw the heater in the river. I saved her from herself and the rest of society from the kind of filth that preys on the loins of American men.
Gordon, you're so brave. Only a man would know such things. What about the fisherman?
I'll tell you what, with his only daughter dead, those kidnappers who have taken the fisherman have no one to blackmail. They'll soon have to release him. When they do, we'll be ready.
Gordon, you're amazing. Ow!
Don't get cocky. I was just doing my job. Look, there's something else you've missed, Molly.
What?
Before she was tragically killed, the daughter said her father was unarmed and never wore a gun. You know what that means?
Yes.
That's right, Molly. It means he's a sissy. I imagine when he hears his daughter is dead, he'll cry.
What kind of a man cries, Gordon?
I don't know. One that loses wars, I think. Probably the kind of man who raises a $2 tramp for a daughter, Molly. A very sick individual, and probably a communist.
I don't like to express strong emotions, but I think I hate this fisherman, Gordon.
Don't hate him, Molly. Pity him, and help me kill him.
Oh, I shall. Look looks like the chief has shown up.
What a surprise. The cops get here after the real crime fighting's done.
Go ahead, Miss Malmsteen. I thought I told you two clowns to stop meddling in police business.
Listen to me, Chief. I respect you, but the fact is, without me, this town would be over before it's even begun. Vice Beach should be a peaceful place full of genuine people and Americans. But while searching for this fisherman, we've uncovered a ring of illegal communists and almost worse, a man who was leading girls into a life of hideous and unmentionable vice.
Good on you, Moorhead. You're the best man in this place. You've got my backing, whatever you do. Kill whoever you think necessary.
Thanks, Chief. You're a good cop in a difficult situation.
But Moorhead, tell me, what men are doing these terrible things in our lovely new town?
Not men, Chief. Man. One man.
Who?
A missing fisherman. He's faked his death to put us off the scent.
The fisherman, of course. Killing his own daughter. Moorhead, I know we've had our differences in the past, but the city needs you. Our burgeoning beachside community could be ruined by this sort of scandal. You have to bring this man to justice, whatever it takes.
I shall, Chief. You know you can count on me. He's probably hiding in a swamp somewhere.
Yeah, Moorhead. Firstly, we don't say swamp. We say attractive wetland countryside right on your doorstep should you decide to move to our beautiful part of the world.
Sorry.
Secondly, if you're heading into the swamp, you'll probably need some help.
Me? Help? I'm Gordon Moorhead, not some Rusky, Chief.
I mean this kind of help. Friendly napalm. It's great for all your tree and flesh-burning needs.
Ooh, you mean friendly napalm is great at fighting crime as well as all the other handy uses it can be put to?
That's right, I do. As a policeman and a father and a proud American who served in 2 wars.
Amen.
I use friendly napalm for all my napalm needs. There's nothing like a substance that sticks to your skin and roasts you alive to make you rethink your current political or economic system.
Cheers, Chief. See you later.
But Gordon, wait, I'm coming too.
No, Molly, it's too dangerous for girls, even game little terriers like you.
I insist. I may be weak and irrational and moody at times, and for 25% of the month I'm completely unbearable to be around. But I'll do anything for justice, anything at all. Besides, who else are you going to talk to?
You're right, Molly. You're a good kid for a dame.
Oh, that's smart. Let's go, Gordon. Do you think we'll ever make it out of this crazy hellhole?
I don't know, but I know I'm a man, and I know you're a woman, and I know there are things I'd like to say to you. Swell things, real things, but now ain't the time. This is too serious. All of Vice Beach is under threat. This calls for Moorhead to ride again.
Later that evening, in the murky recesses of a swamp.
These wetlands sure are swampy and undeveloped.
Sure. Now will you be quiet?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, I wish Pablo were here to help us. His Mexican cunning would really be useful in a situation like this.
Yes, he's foreign, but occasionally quite useful.
Exactly. Hey, what's that noise?
What noise?
There, that whistling.
It's Pablo!
Pablo, you old dog.
Ah, buenos noches, amigo. Buenas noches, señorita Malmsteen.
Pablo, what are you doing here?
Oh, Pablo no can say, señorita. But since you ask, I was searching for the souls of my ancestors.
But I thought you were Mexican. Why would they be buried in Florida?
Yeah, that's true. They're not here. Hey, would you like a tortilla chip?
Pablo, this is no time for eating. Vice Beach is under threat. A vicious murderer, pimp, and communist is on the loose in these beautiful wetlands right on our doorstep. And we've got to find him and bring him to justice.
But Gordon, what kind of idiot would hide in these awful swamps? I mean, he's full of alligators and snakes and sea cow poo-poo. Who would live anywhere near this dump out of choice?
You foreigners don't know much. You're primitive, Pablo, but you're a good man. This gem of a city is exotic and relaxing once you get over the man-eating reptiles, shark-infested waters, and tropical diseases. But enough of that. How do we catch this guy?
We split up and search the swamps.
Pristine wetlands.
Whatever. And when we find him, amigos, then and only then, we...
What?
We bring him to justice and drink tequila.
It's crazy, but it just might work.
See, by the spirits of my ancestors, we find this crazy killer. You Americanos and my people are friends forever.
Oh, forever. Ah!
Let's split up. Molly, you better cut across that swampy bush and swim the waterways. It's safer. Pablo and I will stick together on the dry path. Come on.
This real estate market ruining killer must be here somewhere. I mean, what kind of sick man would try to ruin Vice Beach's reputation? It's awful.
Help! Help!
Who's that?
I'm a humble fisherman. I've broken my leg and I've been stuck here for 2 days.
Oh, hey, wait! You're the one who's been causing all this trouble.
Listen, lady, I'm really in a lot of pain. Can you get me some help?
You've been trying to ruin the city, bring down condo prices, and infest it with communists.
I don't know what you're talking about. My name's Pete Banbury. I've fished these waters for 20 years. All I do is I fish and try to raise my daughter right.
Well, Pete, there's some good news. Gordon Moorhead saved your daughter from turning to a life of ruining families and being a prostitute.
My Lily? But she wants to be a school teacher, not a hooker. What are you talking about?
A teacher? Not anymore, she doesn't.
Why not?
She's dead.
Oh, no. Please, please. No, I can't handle it. First my leg, now this.
Oh, you crying?
Of course I'm crying. My only daughter's dead.
What kind of a man are you? Oh, I bet you're a communist.
Get some help. My leg's going green and I'm going into shock.
Help! Gordon, he's got me and he's tearing at my clothes.
I am not. I prefer thin girls. Please, I need help.
Not so fast, you sick scumbag. First you turn your own daughter into a cheap whore, and then you join the Communist Party, and now you're attacking my assistant, the delectable but slightly portly Molly Malmsteen.
But...
I'm going to kill you if it's the last thing I do.
Oh, please, no. I don't know what you're talking about.
Gordon, he's got a gun.
No, I haven't.
Bullets don't work on a man this criminally insane. They will just make him stronger. What should we do, Pablo? You're full of cunning.
See, mi sombrero. She say, use the friendly napalm.
Righto. Incredible.
He's ingenious, that foreigner.
Stand back. You should have stayed out of Vice Beach, you sicko.
I've lived there 55 years. The real estate rush has destroyed our natural resources.
Liar. I won't let you stand in the way of progress. Die.
Who would have thought that something as beautiful as a napalm fire could also be doing something as noble as burning to death a criminal genius like that?
Incredible. You Americanos are crazy. Hey, who wants a tequila?
Oh no!
My God, her breasts have exploded.
Holy frijoles!
That's right, Pablo. This town is safe. But the next time we have trouble brewing, Moorhead will ride again.
Tonight, the Vice City Broadcasting System and its affiliated stations coast to coast have brought you Moorhead Rides Again! Gordon Moorhead and the Exploding Breasts by D.H. Walzow. These exciting dramas are sent to you each week at the same time. All characters, names, places, and incidents used in this drama are purely fictitious.
Oh man, I love it. And that was just the appetizer. Now on to the main course. Again, this sounds bad.
A long ass break.
Well, you're using good of your time. So, last and final one. This one would put everyone into tears, rolling around laughing, and it did me. Here we go. Final one. Here we go.
I'm Michelle Montanius, now one from the archives of Old Time Radio, from before this was a public station, a show that first aired 40 years ago, The Time Ranger.
The Vice City Broadcasting System and American Oil and Motors presents The Time Ranger. He travels through time, hunting the biggest game of all, public enemies that try to destroy our America. He's Ernest Kegel, a man of mystery, well, a student of science and polygamy, a man who has a time machine in his pants that, when he masters, he travels back in time to right wrongs, save women, and pleasure himself. With his sometimes lover, when he's intoxicated, the lovely Trixie Lane, the Time Ranger meets up with danger tonight in Boxing the One-Eyed Clown.
Oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. Oh, boy,
Oh, heavens, Ernie, do you have to carry on like this every night?
Quiet, dame, quiet, will ya? Why are you always emotional at the wrong time?
Oh, Ernie.
Don't Ernie me. Go sit in the corner, you dumb cluck. This is something I gotta do. Not just for me, not just for you, but for everyone. Why, when I take out my time machine, I can go just about anywhere. My mind wanders, see? And I'm a Union soldier storming into the home of a defenseless Southern slave owner. Or at a Roman orgy somewhere with a centurion's helmet on. Or the girls' locker room at a high school at some godforsaken town. Now, if you'll pardon me, Toots, I shall go into the commode there and travel back in time. Be back in about 5. And so our hero travels back in time. Where to? He never knows. Wherever he is needed most.
Sire, why art thou getting intimate with thine self in yonder corner?
Ah, say what? You can't see me. I'm completely invisible. Now, don't break my concentration, kid. I must have traveled to the wrong place. I wanted to be at a Viking solstice feast with a couple of milkmaidens sampling the dairy products. You get the idea.
But I too can see thee. You better put that thing away. Mother caught me doing that and made me...
All right, stow it. I don't need to hear your personal history stories, son. This is my time machine, see? And by the way, it's not an ordinary...
Gee willikers, it sure is small.
Knock it off. I don't need to know what I already know, all right? Hey, who knows? Maybe I'll travel back to high school and save Mary one more time from marrying that awful bounder who became a disreputable senator.
Oh, Mary, you're some cheerleader. Let me have that. Those pom-poms. What's that, doll? Under the bleachers? You got it. Yes. Hey, don't give me the cold hard stare, kid. When you get middle-aged and spend each day in self-loathing, you'll understand. Believe me, you will. Hey, by the way, tell me, what year is this anyhow?
The sundial says it's 1175. This is England. Dragons roam the land, and we are also infested with cliches.
Tell me about it.
Wow, you can travel the future.
Yes, of course I can. Don't you listen? I told you, that's where I'm from. I'm the Time Ranger. I like to travel through time and fight injustice. So tell me, boy, what do you do for fun?
I like to torture animals and slow kids.
Good for you.
Tell me more about the future.
Well, kid, let me tell you, things are a little different there. I'm going to get a quill and write this down. You could learn something. Let me tell you a few things about life, 800 years from now. First off, there's a big difference between excitement and what you call arousal. But these newfangled penny arcades will give you either at any time. Next off, men sometimes use special potions and emollients and rubs and ointments to make their, testes reach the floor. You know what I'm talking about. Testicles, family jewels. And women, they paint their faces yellow and are sometimes called Brian walking the streets of the village. And that, my boy, is the future, like it or not.
Hello, Richard. Have you burnt those plague victims yet? Who are you talking to?
Mother, this is my new friend.
Why, I don't see anybody. I need you to get on with killing those lepers. But first, empty the chamber pots on their heads.
No, really. It's the Time Ranger. He's from the future. He says in the future, unicorns go around pleasing women.
Well, they try anyway.
Well, that sounds interesting.
I'll say the future sounds saucy.
Now, don't you and your visible friend get hot under the collar. I don't want any more of your silly ideas. Autoerotic asphyxiation, indeed. Tell me, does my pox look okay in this top? The king is coming by to take me illicitly.
How you doing, doll? Forgive me. Nice to meet you. I'm the, Time Ranger.
Good heavens, the ghost!
No, it's the Time Ranger.
That's what I just said.
He's got a special mini thingy that when he rubs, helps him right the world's wrongs. He showed me.
You did what with my son?
Don't get your knickers in a twist, sweetheart. I kept it on the up and up with the boy. Now, while it sounds confusing, it is in fact completely natural. And my own empirical research has definitely proved you don't go blind, which is lucky for me. Besides which, I am from the future. And now, I know my mission. I must save you from this awful king who's coming to have his vicious way with you. I must overthrow this maniacal monarch and establish a democracy. Yeah, where people are free and everyone has cars and double-enders. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, I appreciate your kind offer. But to be honest, since my husband got slaughtered by the Gothic hordes, I rather enjoy the king's visitations. It's the only action I get. Besides which, his waters have turned black, and he'll be dead soon.
I got no clue what that means, sweetheart, but it does sound pretty awful.
Well, times are tough since the Black Death took 1 and 3. The king ensures we have enough grain, he drowns the witches, and protects us from the dragons.
All right, I get it. This king must die. You don't got to spell it out for me.
Well, we all must die. We all must die. But the real question is, will we go to the fiery pits to burn in eternal torment, or will we really suffer?
Now, that's where you're incorrect, dollface. You see, I'm from the future, like I told you, from 1938. Where I live is just like heaven. Why, we even had a brief period recently where cocaine could be purchased from a pharmacist and the cheerleaders never grow old.
That future sounds awful. Time Ranger, leave us to burn the lepers in peace. Your time here is done.
Then, madame, if you'll excuse me, I must enter the dark recesses of time through this special portal I carry about my person.
Oh, fiery heavens! Richard, avert your eyes!
So small.
The Time Ranger is a eunuch! Oh!
I heard that, Toots.
And so our hero travels in time once more. Where to? He never knows. Wherever he is needed most, and whichever way his time machine points him. Sometimes forwards, sometimes backwards. Always fun if you're open-minded.
Oh la la, monsieur! What are you doing with that little gherkin?
Stow it, mademoiselle. Nothing. You see, you can't see me. Oh, boy. That's better. Anyway, I'm, from the future.
Zut alors, monsieur, this I know nothing about, but these are terrible times. People are being slaughtered.
What? We can't have that. Well, fear not, young lady. The Time Ranger is here. My time machine must sense a disturbance.
Yes, off with your head, off with your head. Either off with your head or off with your frilly skirt. C'est abominable.
Whatever that means, but tell me.
Abominable.
Yes. Who's committing this atrocity, anywho?
The revolting little peasants. The scum, they want food and not to be whipped. I mean, whoever heard of such a thing? They are peasants, monsieur, and as such we must piss on them. And now they have cut off the heads of too many people. It is a tragedy.
All right. Turn off sidewalks already? You're soaking my loafers.
Oh, sorry.
Now, you just bring that heaving bosom right over here. Yeah, a little closer. That's it. Fantastic. Now, if you don't mind, I'm just going to rest my time machine right between them.
All right.
Likes a little change of pace once in a while. Keeps things spicy. Now, with my magical powers, I will bring down the revolt and restore order to the world, and eventually, well, peace shall reign.
Oh, monsieur, you are my only hope.
All right, yeah. Now, don't be alarmed, sweetheart. You will feel a gentle rocking. Keep your hands to yourself, but I assure you it is quite safe. Yeah, quite safe. Yeah.
I am a good girl. I only do that with the executioners and with blood relatives.
Lucky them.
I have already had one slow child.
Well, then it'll be on your head, you foxy French harlot. Come on, let me have at you.
Oh, no, monsieur time traveler. The peasants are rising up to take over heads.
The peasants aren't the only thing that's rising.
Will our traveler be safe? Will he survive the angry French mob? Will his travel machine return to full working order in that perky French bosom? Who knows? Find out next time on The Time Ranger!
Wow, it's a shock that show was taken off the air so fast 40 years ago. But anyone with talent was storming Normandy. We'll have more from the archives of the Vice City Broadcasting System again soon.
Oh my god. Glorious. The Time Ranger! With the time machine in his pants! Ernest Eagle!
Something. I went and got food.
Oh, really?
Got food now.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was one of my main reasons why I really love Grand Theft Auto. We broke Dark Fox. Oh, man. That's one of the reasons why I love GTA. Just the outlandish comedy. Oh, it's so good. Well, I guess it's now time to move on to a segment
Maybe
here.
we still have more of the podcast after that.
Well, you could go the entire game and not even come across that. Yeah, we're gonna do a segment here that I've been putting in a lot of work with, so...
Shit, yeah.
Are you gonna be eating on stream?
Oh.
Says that with a mouthful of whatchamacallit.
It's chicken burger.
Chicken burger. Eat your chicken. Finger licking good dating sim.
It's finger looking good.
Alright. Well, last podcast, there was a little moment we kind of had at the, what was it? At the post-podcast, portion of, I kind of did a thing after the podcast.
Did a lot of things after the podcast.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
And...
Oh, yeah, they're shitting on shit, yeah.
Lady Sovereign just kind of got the shaft, so I kind of...
Phrasing?
Phrasing. So I kind of created a segment. I might explain more about this kind of type of thing after the podcast. I'm going to do a little post-podcast like last time. But I kind of did a segment here. This is the only moment that I actually have, like, written down. And so I kind of came up with this, and it's a segment I call Live Shits On. So I just now realized I kind of screwed up the overlay, but screw it. We're rolling with it. I'll change it in post. So I came up with this idea, and today it's going to be Fateful Findings. This is a movie that I kind of saw somewhat recently, so I thought, let's go ahead and take a look at this thing. So I basically just, didn't really know what to really do with this, so I just kind of... I really didn't plan on doing this, but I did it anyway because well, you need something for content, right? So I saw this movie. And then
After 20 minutes of that, you think we need more content?
Hey, I got all the content in the world. I guess we don't have to worry about time now, do we? So, yeah, I kind of did this bit, and it was around here I noticed that it's kind of hard to, like, talk about a movie that some of you guys probably didn't see. I did post a link to it in my Discord. If you guys are interested in that, go in Discord and do that. We're not going to post it in the Twitch or YouTube chat because I'm thinking back to a time to where...
Future?
Huh? What was that? You kind of cut off there.
The future?
What about the future?
Never mind.
Okay. Well, basically, so I kind of posted a link, and if anyone wanted to see it, so that way they could get an idea. I am going to be taking that link down at some point, but basically, there was a moment, like a year ago or so, I actually got banned on Twitch, or no, not Twitch, YouTube. There was like a 5-minute video that apparently breached, what was it, the terms of service or community guidelines, something like that, and so I had to basically couldn't stream for 2 months, I believe. So I decided, yeah, probably be careful and play it safe, because I don't know what I did to, like, breach their terms of service, and I can't even see that video that allegedly I got banned. So
really, did JoJo? I don't think. Remember when JoJo showed anime?
Yeah. And for some reason on YouTube,
anime girls naked, and they
yeah,
was, nothing.
For some reason,
that.
Twitch didn't care,
Great
and YouTube
moment.
banned me for a 5-minute video. To this day, I don't know
thing.
what I did. So.
And here, oh God, why?
That was a good reaction, by the way.
You went into a not safe for work server. What the hell do you think you were gonna see?
I know, right? So, yeah, like, I don't know what happened in my 5-minute video. I'm pretty sure I just was playing a game or something, and then I got disconnected, and somehow, somewhere in there, I breached terms of service. Wherever the case may be, I'm just playing it safe, so if you want the link, you gotta go to Discord and do all that stuff there. But I will be taking it down soon, because, I mean, I just kind of did it for this whole bit here. So for those that probably didn't see the movie or whatever, I still thought maybe give you guys a little bit of a gist of, like, what this movie's all about. So I kind of, like, wrote a little thing here. I actually recently discovered that this guy actually even written the thing. He written, edited, produced, directed, and starred Neil Breen. He's the main guy shown in the movie. So Neil Breen kind of did everything, and the movie is about a man who gets a concussion, whose dreams is to not be concussed. With the power of his concussion, he will go on to hack into top secret government agencies and corporations all over the world. Nothing really happens throughout the movie, but at one point, a mysterious green screen death occurs. This mysterious green screen death triggers an epic climax as our concussed hero rambles, trying to make a coherent speech at Washington, D.C. During this speech, same time, same place, as our concussed hero, high-ranking government officials slowly start resigning from office. High-ranking officials such as senators, congressmen, and the most important government official of all, presidents of the bank. That last part's not a joke, by the way. All these high-ranking government officials slowly start dying by the same mysterious green screen death. The movie goes on to basically a conspiracy slowly starts to rise about why the movie ended with no explanation of these mysterious green screen deaths. And
so not even the writer knew what was going on.
And our concussed hero lives on. So that's like a gist of the actual movie. I kind of already shit on it a little bit, but we're not done there. We actually need to actually do something here. So that's just to give you an idea of like what the movie is. But now here's the actual segment that I kind of did. So I've been practicing, and I hope to God I'm not too nervous to where I stumble over my speech. Once again, Dark, I will mute you if I have to, because like I really want to try and get my comedic timing down, and if I screw this up, I'm gonna be pissed. Because I'm already kind of like gonna be stumbling over my speech. But here we go. Neil Breen makes Tommy Wiseau look like Marlon Brando. If Richard Gere dipped his face in acid, he will look like Neil Breen. I have discovered more than any other hacker ever has. Ever. Is anyone going to tell him that the laptop isn't even on? And this guy can't type for shit. He types with his fists. Imagine being a naive young actress finding out that you have to do a sex scene with this pasty weird dude. Neil Breen stuff isn't as fun or rewatchable as The Room, Samurai Cop, or Miami Connection. Give me 3 movies I'll rather watch than this shit. Oh wait, you mean to tell me all 4 of these movies are competing for the worst movie ever made? I guess that makes sense. Tommy Wiseau watches this movie just to say to himself, I'm not the worst actor in the world. I'm not the worst actor in the world. You know the movie's good when the kids are the best actors in this movie. There's a car accident at the start of the movie. With all the blood and fresh portion of brain on the car, thank God the police will never find it. They don't have a license plate. After the accident, great police work. They talk to no witnesses and they allow everyone to just gather around the dead body to point and laugh at him. This whole movie was made so Neil Breen can show his ass. I bet that's what Neil Breen thought. That's what I want to do. Get into porn. But I'll never be as good of an actor as they are. Grabs pills from the bottom of the toilet bowl. No one's an addict here. A dinner scene to where you have plates and glasses make more noise than any of the people. This is really a top-notch movie. Everyone drinks and does drugs in this movie. They all sleep face down. I guess they learned from Hendrix. A scene to where you have the sound of 20 people at a dinner party, but only 5 people were actually invited. I known her since the age of 8 years old. And I'll get to first base if her mom will let me. I feel bad for Jim. All he wants to do is just have sex with his wife. But he's gonna plow that Ferrari of his. I can't believe you committed suicide. Why would you commit suicide? I cannot believe you committed suicide. Hold that thought. I have something very important that just came up. I gotta check the mail. I've seen a lot of abuse towards PCs in this movie. Either it means he's a Windows Vista user, or he just purchased Fallout 76. Your mom killed your father? You must go to the police immediately. Right now. But first, stop at the store, get me a snorkel, an avocado, and an ice pick. I made bongs with less. I think Neil Breen blew his wads just to get the Rolls Royce and the Ferrari, and on half the headshots of some of the actors. That was glorious. So that was my little bit that I did there.
Shit, wait, that was you ending it? I thought that was part of it.
Nope, that's it. So that was like
second chicken burger.
So that was like my little bit that I did there. I guess you could say that this was almost like a, I don't know, like a movie review. So, what do I think about this movie? As you could clearly see, you could see how much I love this movie. I'm gonna give this movie the best rating I ever gave. A broken pencil, shattered dreams, and half a fruit roll-up. 10 out of 10 confirmed.
Whoa. Half a fruit roll-up?
Yes, only half a fruit roll-up. And shattered dreams, too. With
Like
a broken
third.
pencil. Oh, God. When I first did this, I kind of thought it wasn't going to be that funny, but I don't know. I would love to hear what you guys kind of think about it. Yeah, I kind of... It was really weird because I don't have like a visual for you guys, so like I just kind of have to like kind of just roll with it. So yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say for that, I guess. So
Nice.
yeah, that was Liv shitting on Neil Breen and his movie Fateful Findings. Although I guess I could end this entire segment with this little number. This is, without a doubt, one of the greatest scenes you'll ever see in this movie. Like, seriously, you have to see it. I'm telling you. The emotion that goes into the scene is just brilliant.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
It's Lisa, and yes.
Oh.
That's actually a little joke between me and my friends. We actually say that line constantly, but instead of Lisa, we're saying Lisa because of The Simpsons. If you ever notice Mayor Quimby, he never says at the end of a word. He always puts ER. So we kind of thought it was funny that, Lisa. So it's kind of like a little reference. But this is, without a doubt, one of the best scenes in the movie. I mean, really, it's... I shed a tear in this moment.
Jim! Call 911! Jim! Jim! How could you have done this? Jim! I can't believe you committed suicide. I cannot believe you committed suicide. How could you have done this? How could you have committed suicide? I can't help you out of this one, Jim. With all we've been through, I can't pull you out of this one.
I mean, really, it's just a brilliant movie. Just so good. It's so good.
I can't believe you've done this.
Yeah, I know.
Hit her. I did not.
Oh, man. So that's my whole bit I kind of did there. So, any last thoughts that you could think of before we move on?
About your segment or about that? Haha. Ow. Shit.
Just everything so far, because I only have one more segment left, and I think we're pretty much gonna end the show. So I figured that I will take this moment for any last thoughts or what have you. I gave this comedy 2 snakeskin eye patches and a zap gun. Nice. You know what, Josh? I actually tried so hard to try and find goddamn eye patches at one point. I think you need an eye patch to get that shotgun I was trying to get. Anyway. So I guess we'll move on to our final segment before we end the show. Bill McClintock. I'm kind of curious, like, what's I mean, it's my pick, so I kind of have an understanding of like what I want to say, but
Oh, yeah.
you have anything?
Yeah, it was meh.
Wasn't into it?
No, not at all. It was just.
Well,
I mean, I guess I can see how people like it, but just for me, it was just a big mess.
All right. Yeah, it's the songs that I did kind of give to Dark was like one song was my second favorite that I heard, and then that I liked, and then the other one was actually a fan made like he's actually showing one of the songs that he actually did here that I gave to Dark to listen to. I just thought it was kind of interesting how he takes like the music side, like the instrumentals, and he actually got the audio of just the vocals and he blends songs together. And so yeah, this is Bill McClintock, and essentially he is actually a music teacher, and it's actually in this very video that I'm watching right now is he actually explains that this particular part he's doing right here, he's actually at school, and he was supposed to put together a plan for the day actually. So I just kind of thought like it was really interesting, like how he's like putting all this stuff together, and he doesn't just do just the audio, he even does the video side to it too. And I just kind of thought that this was really interesting, mainly because it's not what I think of when I hear someone say mashup. And when I think of like mashup, I'm thinking like you're playing two songs at the same time. But this, like, the way it's done is he like creates like its own standalone song, like it's an alternative version. He does all kind of types of different kind of types of music. I want to say he even may have created a few genres that I'm personally into, but apparently I guess Dark Fox isn't really into rock music as much as I am, but or at least the ones I gave him anyway.
Yeah, I like rock music. This band, the group you gave me, just yeah.
And you did hear all three of them?
I listened to all three of them fully, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, see, obviously I went with one of my favorites because it was Motorhead. I like that one mainly because, well, it's Motorhead, but also it's Bob Marley as well. And I actually played that one time on stream, and I think it was just the song, and I thought it was kind of funny. I got copyright flagged for the mashup version of that song, so I guess it was so good that somebody like Bill McClintock that they copyrighted it, so I don't know. I thought that was a little strange. So I would probably play some of the music, but because of that, I got to be kind of careful. But I will be playing one song. You have something to say?
No, just agreeing with you. We should be careful.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because obviously, because I really don't care if I get copyright flagged when it's like a single song and like it's monetized for like the owner of it. Like that is completely fine. It's when my video gets blocked and it's like banned worldwide, that's when I would actually like take action and actually go through, edit the video and stuff. But as far as I know, I do have one song I'm going to be playing here. This is actually my favorite song I ever heard. I really thought this song was great. I'm now starting to question how much Dark might be into this particular song, but this is one of my favorites, so. I don't know if I'm going to do the video. I'll probably do the video, but we're going to be doing it on... I guess we'll do... where is it? I think we'll go with this. So this is actually my favorite song. So, Dark, if you wanna just keep your mic on, you can. Otherwise, do whatever. But let me. I should probably reload this. But anyway, this is actually my favorite song. So, here we go. This is so basically what he did here is he took the audio of Slipknot and he placed it with some instrumentals of a cover song of the B-52s, and this is what he came up with. By the way, I got copyright flagged 10 seconds of this video, for the record, if I actually play the video fully. But, yeah, here we go. I'm just double checking, making sure audio and everything's good. Alright, here we go. This is Slip Shack, as he calls it. Sorry, I'm kind of waiting for. I know there's a delay.
Oh, yep.
So, does that change anything, or still kind of meh?
Still the same.
Ah, okay.
For me.
Yeah, that song I actually really enjoyed. It's yeah, I don't know how to like really put it like, but I there was just something about it that just like really kind of hit home. Um, it's I didn't when I first heard B-52s and Slip Shack, my first thought was like a ketchup popsicle kind of type of thing. It doesn't sound good at all, and then all of a sudden you actually hear it, and it's like, oh, that's actually kind of good. So, but anyway, that's kind of what I've kind of had on the plate. I'm slowly starting to think, what kind of type of music would me and Dark both agree upon? Is now gonna be kind of the question, because I would like to try and find music that me and him could both like really enjoy and really be into. So, because you said you were into Taylor Swift, or am I thinking of someone else?
No, you are not incorrect there.
Okay, so it was. I'm actually kind of curious to like maybe try and find some of her music, because I always
We're
kind
not playing
of.
that on stream.
What was that?
We're not playing that on stream. We'll get
Yeah,
copyright straight
yeah, I know
100%.
I'm not, but I'm saying like, to listen to off stream, because
Make suggestions.
yeah, it's something I kind of thought of, like come up with some suggestions, and maybe I'll find something I like. I don't know. Payday
Like
2
I'll give you like
soundtrack.
what 5 songs? You want 5? You want 10? You want me to give you a whole Lady Sovereign album worth of songs again to listen?
Nah, just like 2 or 3 songs I think should do.
Two
Like
or three.
like what what you think is like your favorite.
I could probably do 2 or 3. Yeah.
But anyway, that would be like for another time, another day. But
Yeah, 5 minutes after this podcast stops.
So yeah, that's kind of
DM.
that was kind of like my pick. If I had to pick an artist, I just kind of thought what he did was just really interesting, and the fact that he's a school teacher, like whenever he finds off time, this is what he does, and I liked his music. There's others that I would recommend, but it is kind of what it is, because we all have different tastes in music, and it seemed like I did get some positive reactions from the Slip Shack song I played. I know I played that multiple times on my stream, and I thought I heard some people. I actually did do a music stream a while back, 2 of them, and you really, it's a great way to just kind of chill out, just listen to music. But at the same time, it was kind of difficult to find music that isn't copyrighted for obvious reasons. But yeah, that was actually something I was gonna like say to like other streamers like Dark and Simply JoJo and stuff. Have you ever did like just a music stream to where you just hang out with your chat and just play songs? Which
I did Twitch things once. That counts.
oh, the the Twitch Sings stuff.
Twitch Sings one. Yep. Yeah, I did one stream in that.
How did that go?
I had better reception than I thought. I'm not the best at singing, but
yeah,
we had fun.
That's kind of somewhat similar that I have, but I think with the music streams that I did was a little different, because like we were basically taking turns of like what our favorite songs are. I will pick a song, we'll play it out, and then we'll go to chat. Somebody will post a link of a song, and then we'll just kind of go from there. It's like I want to say it's like a great bonding exercise. The only problem is the first time I did it, it was really awesome, because I forget who all was there. I want to say Crazy for Blood was there. Maybe Josh, or was it Extreme? And I remember Team Foxy kind of came in at the tail end. So, but yeah, I'm thinking this music portion of the podcast, I think we're pretty much gonna get the same reactions. There's gonna be songs that I'm gonna like that probably Dark isn't, but it's to be expected. It's just I thought with this, because there's a little more variety, it gives you much more of like a wider chance to try and find a song that you might be into, maybe. And yeah. But anyway, I really like Bill McClintock's mashups, but you could go check out his channel. I think I could. Yeah, I'll go ahead and post it in chat if anyone wants to take a look at it. Oh crap, did I close my browser? Nope, there it is. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and post this in chat. This is to the actual channel and stuff, so if anyone wants to go check that out. So, and yeah, so I don't think there's anything else I want to talk about. Last minute stuff. I'm slapping my keyboard again. So, think we should call it a day in the stream?
Well, we didn't do the ending thing, so...
Well, yeah, that's what I'm basically leading
or
into, so...
whatnot? Oh, I
so,
thought
like,
you're leading
you know...
into, we're shutting this shit off, but okay.
Alright, Dark, what's your channel? What are you doing? What's going on over there? What do you have planned?
Well, we have, what did I say? We're finishing up, next stream will probably be either tomorrow or Monday. We'll be doing Darkest Dungeon. We're gonna be trying to farm for a invitation to the Crimson Court, and we're gonna finish that storyline once we beat the Countess. Also, 2 new emotes got approved. Yay.
Oh, were they approved today?
Tier 2 and Tier 3 stuff.
Oh,
yep.
I see them too. Nice.
There they are.
Awesome. Yeah,
Tier 3. Woo.
I think I might go into a conversation about those emotes, but we'll do that in the post-podcast wrap-up. As for me, basically, I'm still going through Bioshock 1. I think I'm in Bioshock Remaster, and from what I'm seeing, basically the Bioshocks, at least from what I played from the first one, the original and the remaster, is all I'm really seeing is basically controller support, and there is a crashing issue, and I don't know if it's my RTX or I first thought maybe it was switching from mouse and keyboard and controller, but I don't know. So I'm thinking I don't know what I'm going to do for part 2, which I am looking forward to it. I know Josh is looking forward to it. I think Josh told me that the hacking in Bioshock 2 is a little bit easier, so I'm debating on whether or not I should go with the original, just so that way I could have that dual support of, like, if I want a controller, I could go controller or mouse and keyboard or what have you. So hyped for Bioshock 2. I know, man. And then whenever I could find time, I'll probably throw in some Witcher 3, but I'm kind of putting Witcher 3 on a back burner because I kind of don't like juggling between 3 games. I think 2 is more like easier to where, oh, if I don't play this game, I could be playing this game, and having Witcher is just kind of, I kind of feel like it's throwing a wrench in the whole thing. A little bit, anyway. And then Saturday was a little bit of a catastrophe to some degree because I was trying to get San Andreas to kind of work, and it just wasn't working with me because it's not really best for Windows 10. So, yeah. Anyway, so basically that's pretty much it that I could think of. And yeah, you could check out my channel, twitch.tv/live to win. Live spelt with number 1. As you can see on the screen. You can also check out my YouTube, which is where I'm going to be uploading this stream, this podcast. You should find it under L1ve podcast episode number 2. I'll probably put in our topics that we did. Number 1 live, I know. And I think that's pretty much it. There's also my Twitter as well. It's all the same name. Check it out if you would like. And I think that is a podcast, everybody. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun.
To give us feedback on what you think, because last week on my channel I wrote the podcast, this week Liv wrote it. So feedback from both and what works, what doesn't work. We'll talk a bit about this in the post show, I guess, between ourselves. But if you guys have anything else you want to suggest, feel free to, because you're watching it and you'll have bigger than we will.
Couldn't have said it any better myself. So I guess for now we'll probably go ahead and take like a 10-minute break or what have you. I don't know if I should end the stream or just switch scenes and just play a song, and me and Dark could probably... I think I'll probably go ahead and just end the stream. But it will come back up a couple minutes from now. Me and Dark is probably just going to go back and forth, and I think that's it. So I guess I'll see you guys hopefully in the post-podcast wrap-up. Dark, do you actually know the name I actually gave it, by any chance?
Did you give it a name?
Yes. The post-podcast, I gave it a name. After Dark.
Oh my god, that's great.
If I'm soloing, do you know the name? Live After Dark.
Dark After Live.
So, yeah,
Or Yakuza Discord, yeah, Live specifically.
So, yeah, so I don't know if it's going to be After Dark or Live After Dark, but we'll see what happens. And, yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it. Bye, everyone.